Hello dear friends, and welcome to another Magic the Gathering video. Today we play Control. What's up everyone? We are going to be playing some Esper Control today, but before we get started, I have two short announcements for you guys. For those of you that are interested in directly supporting the channel, I'm going to be starting up a Patreon account, so watch this space, check my website. If you're interested in doing that, I'll be posting some more details about it soon. Also, a number of you had asked about streaming, and it's something that I've always wanted to do. So, again, watch my videos, look for the blogs, check my website. I will be posting something about a streaming event coming up. I'm not sure what I'm going to play at. Probably just play all kinds of stuff. I'm just trying to decide if I'm going to do it on YouTube or if I'm going to do it on Twitch. I think Twitch might be better, but I'm already set up on YouTube, so I'll figure that out and let you guys know. Okay, so getting back to the deck, this is an Esper Control list that I saw on Reddit, actually, and it's very much like the typical or traditional draw-go type deck. Just about everything is at instant speed, and it has a lot of card draw and some powerful counter spells. I like Esper Charm from a control deck standpoint mainly. I like Esper as a control deck mainly because it gets Esper Charm. I think an instant speed draw 2 is really good, and I also think that the discard mode is powerful as well. So I think this deck is a lot of fun. I have it in paper, and it's something that I want to start playing more of. I don't know if it's going to be a deck that I would necessarily take to a competitive event. If I get a lot of practice with it and I feel comfortable with it, maybe. But I think overall, playing a bunch of Control is something that might be difficult. But we'll see. Main reason to play it now is I think it's fun, and I just would like to play more Control. So a little bit about the deck. Something you might notice is Peak. I think... And this isn't my idea, this is what the guy said on Reddit, but I think that it's true. And, you know, let me give this guy credit 1 second. Okay, so the Reddit user was actually Sulky Love. He posted this list and said he thinks it's his best iteration of Esper Control, that he's played it through 150 matches. I believe this is pretty much the same. And the reason that he cited for Peak being good in the deck is not only is it a cantrip, but a lot of times in Control, information is extremely valuable because you need to know what it is that you need to counter. And being able to peek at somebody's hand and see that, you know, like they may cast a spell, you can actually peek in response if you have enough mana up in addition to Cryptic Command and say, okay, wait a second, I see that this is actually bait, or you know, I can remove this for the removal spell, and what I really need to counter is the other thing. It's also good against combo, so you can know precisely what the thing is that you need to counter. I've actually also tried Peak in this deck as 2 remands, just simply so we can have more early interaction, and I like it. I like it there. I like it as a remand as well. So I'm not sure what's better, but I'm willing to try the Peak out again. And the reason for the extra remands, while they're not a permanent answer, you're really just trying to buy time until you can get to your Cryptic Commands, or until you can get to like a Supreme Verdict, or maybe even force them to discard with Esper Charm. It's really just to give you more early game action so that you can push the game further along to the late game where the deck really shines. Hand Disruption is in the sideboard. I think that Hand Disruption in a Control deck is better in the side. You know, if we're trading these, you know, Thoughtseize for other spells, we're really not getting ahead, and we're not forcing our opponent to expend any mana, and we're not discarding anything that they have to protect a proactive game plan of any kind. You know, in a deck like, say, if running Geist of St. Traff, getting rid of blockers so that you can play him and then have them not block makes more sense than to just Thoughtseize something away and then maybe not do anything, at least to me. The Bribery in this deck, I think, should actually probably be an Elspeth Suns champion, but I don't actually have one online right now, so I just kind of threw one in there. I don't exactly know what every single card is for. Like, I can't say what matchup. Some of them are pretty clear, like Thoughtseize for combo, Oust and Murderous Cut for creature decks, Detention Sphere for problematic permanents, Celestial Purge, we're going to bring that against any deck with black or red. Disenchant for affinity and other artifacts or enchantments. Stony Silence, obviously, for affinity. We'll also bring that in against Tron. Jace against probably anything running Lingering Souls. Definitely against Splinter Twin, Wrath of God, just another Wrath effect where we need it. Teferi against control decks and potentially combo decks. Some combo decks. Bribery is really for Tron. And I think I already said Murderous Cut. So that's mainly the deck. Let's just go ahead and play some games. I'll see you guys in a second. By the way, I also wanted to mention that I'm going to be playing some Control with Curtis Nauer from the Spike Feed podcast. He's going to be coming on the channel soon. And we're either going to play Esper Control or Bug Control. In his most recent episode, he said that he's really liking Bug Control, so we may do that. But we had talked about playing Esper Control previously, and I think that his take on it is probably going to be less draw go and probably have a few more proactive spells in it. So assuming that we do that, it'll be interesting to compare the two lists and how they function and everything. But that being said, we have a game up here, so let's go ahead and be on the play. Also, I kind of want to mention, I don't play much Control, so I'm probably going to make a bunch of mistakes and make some of you annoyed. So for that, I apologize. So this is interesting because this is a position where I think that Logic Knot is actually generally really good as a turn 2 counter. Usually we'd have a fetch land, and that would give us something to delve away so that we could counter a 2-mana spell on our opponent's second turn. But we don't right now, so it is possible that we can draw into a fetch land next turn. But either way, we have a lot of lands. We have a counter spell and some draw, so I think this is a hand that we want to keep. We're going to play a Hallowed Fountain, and like I said, if we get like a Flooded Strand or a Polluted Delta, we are almost assuredly going to be playing that. That way, if our opponent has a turn 2 play, we can get something in the yard to take advantage of the delve functionality on Logic Knot. Or we're just going to play junk, and they're going to Thoughtseize or Inquisition away our Logic Knot, and it doesn't matter. Most likely what's happening here. So next turn, depending on what we draw, we'll probably just play a Hallowed Fountain tapped. Assuming he takes Logic Knot and we don't have any plays, that way we can play Hallowed Fountain tapped, not have to take any life, and then for our third land drop, we can play Drowned Catacomb and then have Esper Charm to hopefully dig for answers to whatever our opponent does. I actually took our Esper Charm. That's interesting. So hopefully we'll get a fetch land. We did not. So I think we're just going to play the island now. He did discard our Esper Charm, so our Logic Knot is live for a turn 2 play here. Yeah, I mean, we'll go ahead and counter Tarmogoyf. That's what this spell is here for. X is currently 1. And then next turn we're going to play our Drowned Catacomb. I would really like to draw another Esper Charm so that we can draw some cards. But that's actually a pretty good one too. So if we draw a Cryptic command, then we can play this Plains and have Cryptic up. We did not. So I think I'll just play this Hallowed Fountain tapped and pass. Although actually, it probably would have been better to just play the Plains and represent Cryptic command. So that was a little minor mistake there on my part, I think. Better to just bluff it than not at all. I kind of want to run the Snapcaster Mage out. It's kind of curious. Like, there's no way he doesn't take the Snapcaster Mage, actually. I guess I'd rather keep the Path to Exile, because if he takes the Path to Exile, then we just still have it with Snapcaster Mage, so we'll just let him Thoughtseize away whatever he wants. Like, if we just played our Snapcaster Mage out and then he takes the Path to Exile, we have nothing. But if he takes the Path to Exile, then we can get it back with Snapcaster Mage. And if he takes the Snapcaster Mage, then we still have Path to Exile. So definitely better to not run it out. Cryptic Command or Esper Charm would be cool. Just a fetch land. I don't really see a reason to crack it at this point. I'm going to play Hollow Fountain tapped again and pass. Our opponent's not applying any pressure to us, and he's already at 13. This is the position that we'd like to find ourselves in, playing a control deck where we're just playing lands and passing the turn and not really having to do anything. Okay, Siege Rhino. Our opponent knows we have a path. Don't really see a reason. We have plenty of mana up. We don't have to path right now. We can just wait for our opponent's upkeep to do that. Logic Knot will work. So I'm going to go ahead and play this Polluted Delta so I can get something in the yard for it. And I don't know what my opponent's plan is, so I'm not going to upkeep path the Siege Rhino. I'm going to wait for attackers are declared so I can see exactly what he chooses to attack with here. Like, I didn't know if he was going to activate a man land, for example. So he knows we have the path, so we'll go ahead and path. The percentages aren't high, but I'm still probably going to go ahead and crack this fetch to thin our deck out ever so slightly, because I'd like to start drawing some actual action spells. Or reactive spells, I guess, in this case. Esper Charm, think twice. I know that my friend Curtis over at the Spike Feed is not a big fan of Esper Charm. I myself am fine with it. I think in a grindy format where junk is prevalent, I think twice is fine. Did I say Esper Charm? I meant think twice. Esper Charm or think twice would be great. Cryptic Command would be fine too, but maybe drawing some cards would be good. Man, our opponent's taking a while to find a basic land. Oh, he actually lost connection to the game. All right, well, I'll just pause, guys. Okay, our opponent's back. Looks like he got a swamp. And looks like he's passing the turn. That's strange, just in that when I walked away, Path to Exile was on the stack, and I hit F3. I guess that makes sense because he passed priority and we don't have any other... We do have a stop set for blocks, but there was no blockers, so yeah, actually that makes sense. We don't have any other stop set, so it just passed all the way to his end step. Okay, so we'll crack Polluted Delta here and probably get a Watery Grave just so we can have another black source. And Batterskull is Batterskull's a good one. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can actually play Batterskull. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if our opponent doesn't play a land and has a Maelstrom Pulse in hand, then we can protect Batterskull. It might be too early to play this guy, but we can protect Batterskull with our Logic Knot if he Maelstrom Pulses and doesn't play a land. So let's see. He may just say, oh, I'm Maelstrom Pulsing that, and then we can counter it. until let's see what he does. Maybe he doesn't have a Maelstrom Pulse. He can Path or Germ. I don't care about that. We couldn't have countered the Path anyway. I mean, I'm fine with countering the Tarmogoyf. Like, now we're going to have enough to play Batterskull and return it to our hand if we need to. Let's see. Cryptic. Removal spell. Snapcaster Mage is fine. I'm going to pass with Snapcaster Mage. That way, if he attacks us with the Manland, we can Snap Path it and then pull Batterskull back and replay it. Yeah, I think in response to Acquisition, we're going to have to flash out Snapcaster Mage. I guess we'll just target Path to Exile. It's probably going to kill most things that we care about. Lingering Souls, we have a Batterskull. Actually, we probably won't even pull the Batterskull back at this point. We'll just try to equip it to Snapcaster Mage. All right, let's see if our opponent has an Abrupt Decay. 2, 3, 4, 5. Whack. All right, we'll just play out this land and pass. I feel like we're in pretty good shape here. Even if our opponent can kill this, like, even if he had a way to say, like, chump and kill our friend here, I'm also fine with that. Hopefully we're going to draw, like, some spells that let us start digging through our deck. If we can find a Sphinx's Revelation, and we'll be very far ahead. It's a little more annoying, mainly because, like, our opponent does have a Gavany Township, so we can start making these spirits bigger. So actually, we really do want to find a way to dig through our deck here, find a Wrath, and blow up the board. Esper Charm will allow us to do that. Question is, do we want to just go ahead and Esper Charm now? I think we do. I think we want to attack first. Let's see. We'll attack. What would be really great is if our opponent activates a manland here, and then we Esper Charm to draw 2, find a Wrath, and then blow up the manland as well. I was just going to Gavany. Okay. All right, so let's Esper Charm to draw 2 cards. did not draw a Wrath, but we did draw a Ghost Quarter, so we're going to play the Ghost Quarter. Go ahead and blow up the Gavany now. That way he can't use it again. And then next turn, I guess we'll replay Batterskull. We could have actually just pulled back Batterskull, replayed it this turn. His own Batterskull. Well. I mean, we're not in bad shape, but we do need to draw like one of our trump cards, or like our, not so much trump, but just we need to draw one of our really big cards, like Sphinx's Revelation, or a Wrath even. I think a Wrath is pretty good. So let's see. Let's just play this Drowned Catacomb and play the Wrath, and then play the Batterskull. We have the tools to beat this Batterskull. We're gonna peek just so we can cantrip. Yep, there's nothing to look at. Cryptic is one way that we can beat Batterskull. Let's see here. I think what we want to do is we want to attack, let him block, and have him pull back his Batterskull and then try to counter it with a Cryptic command. I think that's what we want to try to create. So we're going to attack. Hopefully he'll block. He's at low life. All right. Now I want him to return Batterskull and attempt to replay it. Then we're going to Cryptic draw. Then we'll pull back our own Batterskull. Be a good shape. Okay, sure, Lingering Souls. And now we will counter draw a card. Pull back our own Batterskull. Draw another card. Colonnade's good. We'll play the Colonnade. Replay the Batterskull. Spell Snare Scavenging Ooze. No reason not to. Alright, opponent's had enough of that. So let's see. I think Jace is good. He can draw his cards. He can also make his Lingering Souls worse. I think we probably want another Wrath. Don't think we want a Teferi. Detention Sphere. He may be boarding out his Abrupt Decays, which could make Detention Sphere reasonable. I don't really think so much that we want. I don't think we want Murderous Cut and Oust. We already have Path to Exiles for like single target removal. What we really want to do, if possible, is get ahead by wrathing away his board. Okay, so let's see here. Remands, they're not amazing versus junk. I mean, They're okay against, they cantrip and they're okay against Lingering Souls, I guess. But we also have Wraths, which are good there. Let's see. Liliana could be problematic, so I think the Detention Sphere and the Celestial Purge are worth bringing in primarily for her. Obviously, we just want to counter her if possible. I think Twices are fine here. The peaks are probably less good. You know, it's nice to have the information, but you know, our opponent's only doing so many different redundant things. Let's see. Sphinx Arrive, Logic. All of these seem great. I feel like I just may cut these remands. I think that's probably what I want to cut. We'll attempt this configuration. All right. I don't know how many mistakes I made in that last game. I'm sure plenty. We are probably just going to lead with Island and hold up Spell Snare. Probably a good chance it just gets our hand gets Inquisitioned or Thoughtseized anyway. If he takes off our Spell Snare and we don't draw one, then instead I'm just going to play Flooded Strand and get a Hollowed Fountain. I like having these Drowned Catacombs. There's a reasonable chance our opponent will bring in Choke. That's another nice upside to Esper Charm, is it does kill enchantments as well. Alright, well, we will play our Island and pass. I would not be surprised to just see another hand disruption spell out of our opponent. There is a Hollowed Fountain. Let's see. We're going to just play that. Could be a choke. Okay, it's just a Lingering Souls. It's not the worst. I'll play this Drowned Catacomb. I'm probably going to play a Flooded Strand and get a Plains. Siege Rhino. Alright, well, we will path you. Oh, it's a Thrun. Well, we definitely need to find Wrath very soon. Sphinx's Rev is a good one, but it's not Wrath. So we're going to pass back. So now, yeah, we definitely need to find a way to dig through our deck very expeditiously. I don't know that our opponent's playing Choke, but we have blue sources here that won't tap. So I want to make sure we get a white source that doesn't tap as well. And we know that we're going to need that rather won't get choked. We know we're going to need 3 of them at some point anyway. I guess. I mean, it's nice to have a path up. It's not going to help us out. I guess we could Sphinx's Rev here for 1, which seems pretty terrible. But I imagine our opponent's going to take it anyway, so we'll Rev for a measly 1. All right, well, Think Twice should help us dig through a couple of cards, but we want to play this Ghost Quarter so that we can Ghost Quarter this Stirring Wildwood. Otherwise, that's lethal right there. Okay. So we're going to take 8. So we really need this thing twice to find something for us. Oh, let's see. Just another land and a colonnade. So we're going to draw 3 here, and Detention Sphere is not going to get there. Detention Sphere is actually great against these spirit tokens, but he has a Thrun. We can kill the man land, so yeah, not finding a Wrath just means we're dead. So we're going to concede this game. Yeah, there's no way for us to win. So okay, let's see. I'm almost tempted to bring in Thoughtseize. Oh, bribery is interesting. I could actually I could get a Thrun out of his graveyard or out of his library. Let's see. I think this is still fine. We'll submit. I think what we have is fine. I like this hand. It has a Verdict, Esper Charm. It's kind of like not the greatest mana, but we have so many lands in the deck. I'm confident that we'll draw into some. All of these things may just get taken away anyway. That's what's happening, per usual. I'm going to shock here. Our opponent may just have another hand disrupting spell, but I also am completely fine with didn't have anything. All right. Let us draw a land. Thoughtseize. Yeah, I want to keep these 2 spells. We don't even need to delve that away. We can just pay the X's 1. Play another Ghost Quarter. Where is our black source? Well, we need to draw. We could Ghost Quarter for an Esper Charm, but I mean, we have to be drawing lands at some point here. There is a black source. All right, so we'll pass. I'm willing to take like 1 whack from Tarmogoyf so that I can just draw some cards here. I think she's worth countering. Actually, I'm going to just counter and bounce Goyf. That should buy us some time so that we can draw some cards with Esper Charm. Can't snap Cryptic. We could snap Logic Knot. We have another path. See, Snapcaster Mage, Logic Knot. Pay 1, and then we'd have to delve away our path and our Cryptic. Other option here is we can just... Yeah, I'm fine. I'm gonna do that. Like, we have a Wrath, we have a card draw spell, and a single target removal. I really don't want to lose any of those things. I'm gonna Logic Knot this, and actually I can delve away Logic Knot. Can I not? I guess I can't do itself. So 2 and 3. Oh, that's right, because I was flashing it back. Duh. It's been a while since I've cast Dig Through Time. Sure. Let's see. Do we want to path and attack? No, I don't really want to give him another land to use. Okay. Really surprised he kept Abrupt Decays in. I don't know what he thinks he is going to hit in our deck with those. Alright, hopefully we can Esper Charm our way into something good. Black, white. Let's see. We'll play Colonnade. And then we'll be casting and flashing back, I think, twice into turn, most likely here. Okay. Think once. Let's think again. Don't think we want to play Jace against a Goyf. But I think I'm okay with just Wrathing and then minusing Jace. Let's see here. Yeah, we can do that. So we're going to do white, white, colorless, blue, Wrath. And then we'll play Jace. And we'll -2 him. I will take the 2 cards. And pass. All right. Well, I'm going to discard a Think Twice. Do I want to discard the Think Twice? Yeah, we're just going to punch Lily with a Colonnade anyway. All right. We'll play this. We're going to activate a colonnade. Oh, we forgot to activate Jace. Oops. Minor mistake. Well, we do not have a counterspell for that. And if we Esper Charm, then none of the counters we draw would be enough to counter that. So that's unfortunate. I mean, I was going to plus Jace anyway, so we didn't get much out of it. But let's see. Yeah, I will fetch. I could probably use another black source. And let's do draw 2. Oh, okay, well, guess our opponent felt like he was sufficiently behind at that point. Well, there's one game with Esper control. I like to put these logic knots by the remans because I feel like they are part of the they're part of the 2-mana counter suite. All right, well let's play another one. See you guys in just a few minutes.